So this is a question that a lot of us have, myself included. You probably have it also. The question is, are January 6 rioters, are they being hired as ICE agents? The Senate is actually looking into it. This just came out today. It says, Senator Durbin presses Kristi Noem on lax ICE hiring standards, inflammatory recruitment messaging, and asks if any January 6 rioters have been hired. That is the question. And in any of this kind of stuff, we may have our suspicions, but I think you all should have a due process. You also should hold people accountable, do it the right way. That's what they're doing. They're looking into it. This is also from the Senate Judiciary Committee here, Democrats. Relaxed requirements, polarizing recruitment ads won't solve the issues at ICE. They will only attract MAGA radicals. And so they sent a letter over there. Kristi Noem has gutted oversight offices and lowered standards for ICE officers. It makes us all less safe. If you look at this thing, so basically this is ICE. They want to hire like 10,000 people. They want to arrest 3,000 people a day, which is obviously in crazy numbers. That's why you sort of see the things that happen on a daily basis. So like, for example, it says, to meet this quota, scores of masked and unidentified federal agents have conducted unlawful arrests, including U.S. citizens, and engaged in excessive force without clear cause, right? Whether it is an officer mishandling a gun and pointing at bystanders or federal agents arresting U.S. citizens, children in the dead of night, these mishaps have terrible consequences on immigrants and U.S. citizens alike. So the question is, are you hiring January 6 people? You're lowering standards, right? We know this. And it's not just at ICE. It's the FBI, the CIA, Department of Justice, all levels of the federal workforce. Trump wants to fire as many people as he can, lower the standards, bring in a bunch of lackeys. That's basically what it ends up being. I've told you this before, say on the FBI thing, where they want to reduce the amount of training. And I think you guys know the consequences. We're seeing it. For example, this is my home state of Oregon. This story came out just today. I mean, this is what it is. Blind protester dragged, detained by feds. Says agents picked, quote, the weakest person they could find. ICE is arresting and detaining blind people. I mean, this is what it is, and you can see a picture of it there. When you dig into what they're doing, and this is even also today, there was a shooting. It looks like ICE hit their own people, basically, like a friendly fire incident. Just like an hour ago, Dan Bongino, one of the FBI people, he doesn't really make much response. This is his response. FBI agents and our evidence response team are on the scene and coordinate with HSA, ICE, and USMS, right? And if you follow the story, just talk about in the last video, I think one person was hit in the elbow, another person was hit with a ricochet, is what they say, in the hand. It sounds like the ICE people were firing. We've seen this stuff before. Even when you read, and this is coming from Tricia McLaughlin, one of the Trump people, this is what she says. I'll just read her explanation of it. She says, the illegal alien, well, actually, we read a little bit more of the earlier up here, if you want to read the whole thing. She'll say here, ICE law enforcement assisted officers, assisted by U.S. Marshals, pulled the illegal alien over in a standard law enforcement procedure. The alien weaponized his vehicle and began ramming the law enforcement vehicle in an attempt to flee. That's their version of the story. Just want to tell you what they say. Fearing for the safety of the public and law enforcement, our officers followed their training and fired defensive shots. And they've used this phrase before they were accusing people of like having a convoy of 10 cars, and they use that phrase defensive shots in there. But the thing is with this stuff is the only people who are shooting is them, the ICE. I want to make sure it's clear. And this is what she says. She says here, the illegal alien, this would be alleged also because, we don't know for sure, was hit in the elbow, okay? And one law enforcement was shot in the hand by a ricochet bullet. Both are in the hospital. So it's a similar situation with the other story like this, to where there's no reporting of the person that their ICE is chasing, shooting back. They're the ones shooting. The ICE people are the ones shooting that have guns. This is also something I want to show you. This is part of what's happening in the U.S. culture. It's not ICE, but I just want to show you just kind of the breakdown of culture. This is actually a Twitch situation, TwitchCon. Take a look at this. The reason why I'm showing you this is, and it's actually been a big issue because, it relates to how Donald Trump and people like Trump think that they can just go and grab anyone whenever they want. This guy is at I think it's called TwitchCon. It's a convention of like streamer people. So this is like a, person you'd see on YouTube or whatever, or Twitch, I guess is a better way to say it. And some guy just randomly comes up and touches her, and you can see it, right? And the problem is with this kind of stuff is, well, first you have the initial incident, which we're all seeing on camera. And then how seriously are we going to take this stuff? How seriously are we going to, sort of correct the bad behaviors in our society like this? I mean, to me, this is obviously bad behavior. Guys need to come out and talk about this stuff. You don't treat people in this way. And it's the same way when I read the Oregonian thing. I'm just like, what are we doing here? What are we messing with blind people? It's crazy. And, we're in an era where we're just tearing down the White House. This is another photo, updated photo today. We talked about it yesterday. I guess the destruction is getting worse. Trump promised he's not going to hurt anything, but you can literally see what's going on there. And this is when the government is shut down. Just be aware. And Trump essentially wants to build this big, ballroom so he can get all of the bribes and crypto scams going, right? That's essentially his plan there. And when you look at how these people defend themselves, so this is the situation of the arrest of the blind person. So I'll just show you what it is. This is their video. So basically there's the person there. And this is just a reality. It's just not a physically very big person. I don't see any weapons. He's holding his stick to see. I can see that he's swearing and saying, I don't like you and F this, F that. You can see. But the question is this guy threatening any way, shape, or form? And he's also blind, right? And you can see it. And this is actually from Homeland Security, this video. So they're trying to defend themselves. Oh, we're arresting this really dangerous people, right? And they're just. I mean, and I'll fast forward because you can see it. And this is goes for 2 minutes, but it's not really anything to where you'd have to treat someone in this way. And then I guess he's got something in his mouth now. He's sitting on the ground. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any violence from this person at all. I mean, I'm literally just showing you. And then I guess now we're laying down. Yeah, and then the way that they're treating him here. And this person's blind again. And then they act like this person is this really dangerous criminal. I mean, this goes back to, I think these people are I don't think, but I think it's obvious that they're untrained. And you'll see this kind of stuff. It just keeps showing up. Right? Like, for example, this is my home state. So that's what I was looking at today. I can't breathe. Man tells ICE agents in Spanish 5 times during Portland arrest. This is just happening just a couple hours ago. And also regarding the January 6th stuff, Trump pardoned a lot of these people, right? Did you guys know this? That's why there's the question. Did you pardon these people and then say, hey, we're going to hire said people? Is that our plan here? As it also turns out, there was a threat against Hakeem Jeffries from one of these January 6 people. Listen to what he has to say. So, and I'll read it. It says, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries responded after a January 6 rioter pardoned by U.S. President Trump was charged with threatening to kill him, according to a court document. Okay, let's listen to this.
Here in America, we're living in a moment of extreme political violence. And that impacts every single person in public service and the people that we are all working hard to represent. But we will not be intimidated. We will continue to show up and stand up and speak up for the American people, to improve their quality of life, to address the extremism that is being unleashed on everyday Americans by this administration all across the country. We will not bend. We will not break. We will never bow down. And when it comes to these extremists out there, you better watch how you talk when you talk about me.
And then that's why we're looking into, are you hiring these January 6 people for ICE, right? Are these the mass people that are running around and literally arresting blind people, as I just showed you? So I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on this stuff. I do appreciate your time always, and I'll catch you in the next video.